it up.
This is Channel 253. Beep, boop, boop.
On this episode of the Grit and Grain Podcast.
I do remember being in the men's bathroom when one broke inside the men's bathroom, and it sounded like the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. Everybody just went nuts.
Does that mean you're done drinking, or do they replace it?
That's a really good question.
Did you know Channel 253 is member-supported? I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I hope you will show your support by going to channel253.com/membership and join. Thank you.
Welcome to the Grit and Grain Podcast, where we explore and celebrate the craft beer industry, community, and history in Tacoma, Washington, and surrounding Pacific Northwest areas. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's get to it.
Welcome to the Grit and Grain Podcast, coming to you from Peaks and Pints Craft Beer Bar, bottle shop and restaurant in the beloved Proctor District of Tacoma, Washington. I'm Ron Swarner, taking over MC duties from Matt McLaren, who's experimenting making Robitussin crust meat pies. If you follow Chef Matt's Facebook, you'll probably not see this dish posted tonight. Maybe you'll see a post of him writing, "I hate being sick," over and over with a calligraphy pen.
Oh.
He does like the writings.
He does that.
Yes. With me is Bethany Carlson, former head brewer of Pacific Brewing, and Mother Fern, and current co-owner of the Funk Busters line cleaning business.
Yay!
And we also pulled in Phaedra Miller.
Hello.
Peaks and Pints bartender and Parkway social media manager. Hello, Phaedra. Thanks for sitting in.
Thank you. Happy to do it.
Yeah. And of course, producer Doug Mackey on the 1-2s.
I'm producer Doug Mackey.
Yes, you are. Bethany, what are you drinking?
Steeplejack Pilsner, a fresh hop Pilsner with a little hop on top.
How is it?
It's delicious.
That sounded almost like Dr. Seuss. Hop on top, hop
Yeah.
on pop.
Hop on pop.
I concur.
One
Blue
hop
fish,
up on
green
top.
fish, you fish. Phaedra, what are you drinking?
I am drinking the Westmall. Is it double? Dubel? I hear it both ways.
It's technically double.
Double.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm drinking, the double. It's delicious.
Don't need to get fancy with the Dubel.
I people try to do that. We've had
my
lessons in
bell.
pronunciation before, so yeah.
And I've got Gold Dot's inaugural fresh hop with a lot of mosaic in it. It's pretty tasty. Pretty darn tasty.
Where did these little fresh hops come from?
These come from the back of Peaks and Pints.
Oh,
Yeah. Underneath all that brush, there's actually some vines.
In our hop garden.
It wasn't the greatest
Nice.
producing
Wow.
vine this year.
harvest, yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So we are at Peaks and Pints. Because Sean left the Parkway for E9, it's just easier to manage it from the Peaks and Pints because we can control the draft and the vacuum cleaner and everything. So here we are at Peaks and Pints. Used to be a movie theater, the Paramount, in 1923. Then the Blue Mouse came along, and a sad day for the Paramount.
In my boyhood, I knew it as the dime store.
Right.
Yeah,
It was
the
a
5 and dime. Yeah.
And there used to be a big goldfish tank in the back, and I used to get my goldfish from there they die.
Yeah.
And then I'd get another one.
Yeah, yeah, every week.
Yeah, if you look on the floors at Peaks and Pints, you can see where the shelving used to be. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I remember it well.
Yeah. So we're gonna broadcast here every Wednesday at 4:30, and everybody is welcome. Come on in.
Come on down.
Yeah.
There's so much light here compared to the
know,
zebra room.
It's a little bit of a fishbowl.
Should we?
Yeah.
Should we acknowledge the crowd? Crowd, could you?
Yeah. we have a crowd. All right, so I got a story for everyone.
Yay.
In 1991, Mac Rankin started homebrewing and fell in love with the process. He probably started homebrewing to relieve stress, as it was Dave Craig's final season in Seattle when he was one of 4 quarterbacks to start during Seattle's 7-9 season. In 93, Mac approached Jack Schroop with the possibility of starting a microbrewery. Over the next 9 months, the first batches of African Amber and Pale Ale were rolled out while Nirvana's In Utero cranked in Jack's garage. In 94, a year later, after much success with the Amber and the Pale Ale, Mac and Jack's finalized their African Amber, Black Cap Porter, and Serengeti Wheat. These signature beers were introduced at the Park Pub next to the Woodland Park Zoo. That's when they were first.
I know that place.
Do ya?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's where they were. The inaugural beers were.
Cool.
Better year for Mac and Jack than for Nirvana, 94.
Exactly. And then in next year, in '95, the 2 great years of making craft beer by themselves, Mac and Jack's began to hire staff, and it was a miracle that beer was brewed as the entire staff had their eyes glued to the Mariners' magic season. It's believed Jack wanted to change the name of African Amber to Randy Amber. Did you know that, Doug?
Hadn't a clue.
Yes. In '96, Mac and Jack's realized it was time to move out of Jack's garage. After 8 months, they finally started construction in August at North Sandwich Center in Redmond. After the move, Microsoft stock split 2 for 1. It's 6 splits since the company went public 10 years before. In 1997 to 2000, production was quickly maxed out, and Mac and Jack's remodeled the brewery 4 times to increase production, and the Kingdom exploded. In 2013,
Unrelated.
unrelated. In 2013, Mac and Jack's is the 3rd largest craft brewery in Washington, producing 43,000 barrels behind Georgetown and #1 Red Hook. In 2003, Mac and Jack's is sold to a wine company. That's happened just recently, this weekend. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, a wine company owns it now. After 30 years.
You mean the craft brewery is not?
Well, that's a good question, Doug, because the Brewer Association says that to be craft, you have to, you have to have more than 25% owned by a non-beer producing entity, which means you're no longer considered a craft by the Brewers Association. So I don't know if they're craft anymore.
Ooh, that's interesting.
The magical sound happened. Tells us whether it's craft or not.
Yeah. So to be continued.
Wow.
See how that plays out. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
2013, they were the 3rd largest, you said?
Yep.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, behind
in
Georgetown.
what I was drinking.
Red Hook.
And
Yeah.
Red Hook.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So if they are no longer a craft brew, what does that entail, or what are the ramifications of that?
They'll lose their little button.
They must be crying in their beer.
There's no
right?
sticker on the window or, yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, and then you're not considered craft anymore, and then the world, judges that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the beer doesn't change.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But the other craft people kind of
yeah, they'll
little
okay. Yeah,
little of that.
a little of that, a little of this. So the whole focus today was going to be talking about my trip to GABF.
Yeah.
But I know that Bethany, you've been.
Uh-huh.
And so have you, Fader.
I
right?
have, yeah. I have. 2 times, yep.
How was your experience, Bethany?
I think the most memorable story is that silent disco. Didn't you talk about it last week? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I heard my knee.
So if people don't know what the silent disco is, you wait in line and then you put headphones on and you get to pick. Ron, you were more recently there.
You have 3 songs to pick from.
Pick 3 different. Yeah.
Yep.
So
And you can just control it on your headphone.
okay, so everyone has headphones on that's on the dance floor, and maybe some people are listening to the same music. Maybe some people are listening to
and you can tell
different
who's listening to what.
Yeah,
who's listening to the same thing you are.
And then you dance. You just dance your little tushy off, and it's hilarious. It's really hilarious to watch from the outside. Everybody dancing with no music. Like if you're not in the silent disco, everyone looks just real silly.
Do they purposely choose like vastly different beats per minute? So some people are like,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. So when I hurt my knee, I was pogoing to Jesse's Girl.
And what might have been another selection that someone else might have
Maybe, like Nirvana.
Okay.
Or a lot of fast beats, something maybe along the lines of My Thrill Kill Cult. Something like, it could be anything.
All right.
Something, techno.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a lot of like woo from inside the disco, which is just funny. Like everyone's dancing, but then there's like lots of like wooing and stuff from the dance floor, and it's just.
But they have
silly.
to be. They're supposed to be kind of quiet though, as not to interrupt.
Other things, yeah. That's the idea.
Was that one of the rules to be quiet?
No, I mean you can sing along, but it's not going to be blaring and interrupting the
whatever else is
You
going
know, the
on.
10 football field building that it's in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if they do this other places besides GABF.
They
I'm
do.
Sure they do.
Yeah, no,
So-
it can be in other places. Maybe it's a conference or whatever, and it's just one of the activities that's going on. And so the idea is that the music is contained in the headphones, and so it's not interrupting or combating with whatever else is going on in the same space. So
Exactly. And
yeah.
So this is kind of an event now. This has happened enough times that it's sort of
yeah.
like a thing that everyone knows is going to happen.
Right.
Oh, silent disco's
I
definitely
haven't
a
seen any
thing.
slow
Yeah.
dancing yet, though.
That's what I'm saying.
I know, like
think you
Earth, Wind, and
should
Fire's Reasons. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah. Color My World by Chicago.
exactly. Yeah.
They should have that.
Or Nights in White Satin.
Oh my God.
Go for 20 minutes or so.
Exhausting.
Yeah.
No, but that would be the nice dichotomy of somebody freaking out and then other people like, getting deep.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
getting intimate. Showing
Late at
some
night.
love.
Picking a partner.
Yeah. I
But
still
they also had,
You
they
dance
had a
with me?
karaoke stage.
And
You can
against
get
the
up
wall.
and sing karaoke in front of the whole group.
at
They have-
GABF they did?
Yeah, they
Is that
did.
new?
I don't know.
Maybe.
This is my first time.
That's right. I don't remember seeing karaoke before, but hey, that's
I don't either. So,
Yeah.
Phaedra, you were there what year?
I looked it up and I of course promptly forgot because that's kind of my story. I think 2018.
You told me 2016.
Was it 16?
Yeah.
Well, because there are 2 years. So 2016
Oh.
was possibly one of them. If that's what I told you, then I'm going to go with that. And then 2018 is probably the next time, or maybe 19. I can't remember.
Is this a movable feast? Does it go from place to place?
Oh,
or-
no. It's
in
Always-
Denver.
always in
It's at
Denver.
it's at the
Yeah.
convention center.
Okay.
It's
The
giant.
biggest building ever. Yeah, it goes on forever.
Yep.
What year were you there, Bethany?
2015.
Okay.
Yep. With Trevor Nickel and his business partner, Casey.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
who we took the E9 judging class from. Yeah.
Yes.
That was fun. That was 2015 also, right?
That was a year of fun.
Yeah.
Were you at hop school with me too?
Nope. I didn't go.
At hop school.
Also, they had Howdy Beer had a mechanical bull there, so you could ride the mechanical bull.
And did you?
I did
Ron?
not, but my friend Brian, who I went with, did.
And is there video, more importantly?
There, I do have video of it.
Okay.
And I also heard that maybe yesterday his back was hurting. So
There's lots of padding on the floor, right?
yes, there was.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, does
but
he
he
have
ha-
bruises?
He held on for quite a while. I don't think so because there's plenty of.
Do you have to sign something before you do it?
Yes.
Okay. It's one of those things. Okay. Yeah.
Back when you two went, were there 1 ounce tasters also? Glass 1 ounce tasters?
Do not recall.
Yeah. I think they're just too small.
That doesn't sound
Yeah,
right.
I don't think
Yeah.
so. I bet
I don't
they
think
It's
were-
hard to get
Yeah.
the
But
they
character
were like-
of the beer
Yeah.
in 1 ounce. I felt like
No.
most of the time I was just shooting beer.
You'd have to put it in a petri dish in order to get the actual smell.
Literally, the glass itself was only 1 ounce.
Well, it was 2.65.
Gotcha. And then they were
but
just pouring only 1 ounce.
Exactly.
It's real
Yeah.
stingy.
You had to put it down flat, and then they would pour it.
And how
Yeah.
many?
And it was
of the-
mostly volunteers pouring. There were few head brewers, few owners, few employees because of the beer awards.
That was the same for when I was there. I was disappointed to disappointed to see it. Like it was all volunteers that didn't know anything about. I couldn't go meet the brewer at so and so. I
Right.
guess I thought that was what it was going to be like, but it's not.
And
Yeah.
the other thing that surprised me is that it's still an older crowd. I didn't see a lot of 20-somethings.
Oh, really?
I saw 30, 40, 50 and up. But it's still, just like what's following along with craft, the young 20s are, although there was seltzer and cider there this year, still, I didn't think draw the youngsters yet.
Ron,
I
how many 1 ounces did you have before the disco?
Maybe 87.
No, so I think last week he said, or the last time he talked about
He
it,
did talk
I think
about
he said it was like 100. I think is what he said.
Oh, really? I think it was 87. And that's strictly a Happy Days reference.
Of course,
Do the math. It's not that much.
Yeah.
he had a lot.
Yeah.
Now what I remember first of all were the pretzel
Yes.
necklaces, which.
And they were there this year.
Yeah, and so I had never been the first time and was on the train. We were riding in, and I kept seeing all the people getting on the train with pretzel bread, or why do I keep, oh, because I work here. That's why I keep saying pretzel breadsticks. Anyway, pretzel necklaces. Anyway, so I texted my friend and I said, is the necklace thing, is that required? Is that a thing? Because I'm not doing that. I'm not wearing a necklace. I'm not wearing pretzels around my neck. I'm just not.
Plenty of people did.
Yeah, so I was kind of surprised. And then it goes further. Then there's like cheese sticks and like pepperoni sticks and candy bars machine.
I saw a gumball machine around someone's neck.
Yeah, so it really gets over the top.
Cheese would kind of warm up and
it just
yeah.
So that was, and I felt like for me, I thought there was a lot of young people there, and young people that were just drinking a lot and just there to just drink as much beer as they possibly could, not necessarily to try or to, it just seemed like it was just like, let's
get drunk.
Yeah, exactly. And that was kind of the
young people.
And I went to
the vibe I got.
I went to the Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
So maybe that was different from maybe the nighttime sessions.
Yeah. And it's also been a few years.
And I heard that Thursday night was the industry night.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I went to Bierstadt in the Rhino district?
Yes.
And because since Falling Rock closed, and that was the industry hangout, it's moved to Bierstadt. But when I went Thursday night, I didn't see a lot of industry because I think they were
already at the event.
So what I did see were a lot of 30-year-olds playing giant beer pong with, those barrels you see on the street corners on fire when you're warming your hands, and there's 4 guys singing.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of those, and they were tossing in giant balls into it, and then there was
beer.
Yeah,
there's beer in the.
No, there was no beer.
Oh,
but it was just everything was ginormous, and what's the beanbag thing? The
cornhole.
Cornhole was a giant board with beanbags. So people are taking beanbags and hooking them into the hole.
Like a beanbag size that you would sit in, actually?
Exactly.
Interesting.
Everything was just ginormous. Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then that was Thursday night.
Giant cornhole. Okay.
Yeah. And that was Thursday night. And then we walked over to our mutual friend brewing, was a block away, and those beers were pretty delicious.
Nice.
Yeah, highly recommend going to that brewery.
Where else did you go brewery-wise in the Rhino? Did you make it to Crooked Stave? Or,
nope. That was the first night. Okay. It was a long plane ride, packed.
Yeah.
And a long train ride to get to the city and all that. So we kind of called it short a little early that night. And then Friday, we got up and we went to New Belgium and did the tour. Fun. So Brian's cousin, Eric Unger, has been there 22 years. And so we got a personal tour of the whole place.
Nice.
And it's giant.
It is huge.
It's absolutely, it runs 24/7.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, it's just constantly running. So he took us through the whole thing. He was, for a long time, oversaw the Cork and Cage area. So he's seen almost all of the Cork and Cage bottles going through that process.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool. And there's bikes everywhere. Because after a year, each employee gets a bike. Oh. And then after 5 years, and I think it's 20 or 25, they send them to Belgium.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
To drink as much as they can and tour. And because that was a big influence, of course, for the brewery to start New Belgium.
Yeah. That's
cool.
cool.
It was fascinating. Just
very, very cool.
Really, really big.
Is it the biggest brewery you've been to?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how big Sierra Nevada is because I was in beer camp.
That exact
I was in beer
thing.
camp
I've been to
175, and I would say Sierra's bigger.
Yeah.
Just the whole grounds because they have a train that comes in and everything. It's massive and all that.
Beer
solar.
tanks go through the solar stuff and
but both breweries are very environmentally conscious. Nice. They have. I think New Belgium definitely had some solar going on, and awesome. It was a very, very fun tour, and we drank right off the line, and we got the first bottle of I can't remember exactly what it is. It's some sort of saison. It's called That's That.
Oh.
And he just picked it off the line. He says, "Here, you have the very first 2 bottles."
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so Sean Jackson, cover your ears because one's coming your way. 'Cause that's that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very
But it
cool.
needs 5 weeks of warm yeast development before
Gotcha.
you can open it.
Cool. And the Fooder Forest, right?
The Fooder Forest, there was
Yeah.
48 of those things, and I just ran through them all. I was just running around.
That's awesome.
Touched every one of them. they have a hammer and anvils, displayed on the wall, and they're flattened because they build them all themselves, and so they're taking the sledgehammer to get the metalwork.
Yeah.
And they're hitting so hard it just flattens everything.
So is that different than a cooper that's making the barrels, or the same?
It's the same kind of process.
Okay.
It's just they're giant barrels, French oak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was fascinating to see.
Very, very
and then
cool.
down the street was Stodgy Brewing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've
I never heard of it,
I've
but
never heard
it
of
looks
that.
like a
Cool.
pioneer kind of brewery
Yeah.
from the outside. Super cool grounds. And then the Scotch ale was delicious, by the way. And then
Scotch ale.
we also went to Odell's.
Oh, that I
down
love
the
that place.
street,
Yeah.
and that was impressive
Yeah.
too.
We found that place by accident.
Oh,
we
really?
we drove by it, and it's big too.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see a sign. I just saw the tanks and everything, and the grain silo, everything. And I thought,
Tanks
oh, well,
are
this has
huge.
got to be New Belgium, because who else is this big?
Right.
And then we kind of circled back, and then I see the sign, and I'm like, Odell, and I hadn't even heard of Odell. Because they're not out here.
Right.
And so I just, I was still really new to craft beer and everything. And I was like, well, let's go here.
Yeah.
And we did a tour, and they gave us a bottle of something delicious. And
Yeah.
it was really, really, really great. And I loved that place.
And the
Yeah.
process they
Yeah.
have is pretty slick. I mean, they have a ton of employees.
Yeah.
So I mean, getting a beer is like instant. It's
Yeah.
really
And
cool.
they don't like tipping there. I went to try to tip him, and he's like, no, thank you. And I was like, what? That doesn't compute. And he says, nope, they pay us well. So
Yeah.
no worries, cheers. And I was like, oh, okay.
Very
So-
European.
Very, yeah. So,
And then
yeah.
10 minutes down the road, back going towards Denver, is Greenlee, where Weldworks and Wiley Roots, you could throw a rock between the two.
So we went to Weldworks, but I don't. Oh no, we went to
Funkworks.
Funkworks.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
I went. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we drank at both those breweries.
Right on.
A lot of sours.
Yeah.
And a lot of hazies at Weldworks.
Cool.
Very cool.
Cool.
And then we got back to town, and Brian and I spent a lot of time at Hop and Pie. And I can't remember what neighborhood that thing is in.
I think I went
Have
to
you
Hop
been
and
there?
Pie. Does it have the bakery like right next door, kind of attached to it?
I didn't
Maybe I'm
see any
confusing it with
scones.
something else. No, like donuts. Like
Oh.
yeah. It was like you walk through the door, and on the other side they had like a case that had donuts in it too.
This thing
I can't remember.
had
if it's the same
a
place.
tap room and then a giant indoor beer garden. And this was the place that had everything on tap. They had Brooklyn Brewing and Russian River and
Yeah, no,
and
this is a
Bottle
different
Logic
place, so.
and
Cool.
Do they have like meat pies, that sort of pies?
Pizza.
pizza.
pies.
Oh, pizza pies.
Yeah, and they had the Falling Rock beer trailer there in the back
Oh,
of the, and
yeah.
so it kind of made an appearance, and there was a
Cool.
lot of things tapped on that.
Did you ever get to had you been to Denver before to go to, had you
No.
been to Falling Rock?
I missed out.
It was a cool place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only went once, but yeah, it is sad to see that.
Yeah, 'cause that was a big, huge industry. hanging
Yeah.
out and-
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool space.
yeah, yeah. And so, and then the next morning, which was Saturday, we got up early and went to Westbound and Down Brewing. There's several of them in the state, but there's a small tap room in downtown Denver in the dairy district, the dairy row or dairy block.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot of artesian crafts and a lot of food, like artesian foods. And that's where we watched the Beer Awards live stream. And we were actually there when Westbound won. And we
You
were
were actually in the brewery.
Yeah,
Nice.
and drinking the beer that they actually won. So that was kind of cool.
What was it?
It was confusing because it was a Mexican lager, but also they won for cream ale. So I'm not exactly sure if this is a Mexican cream ale or not.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. But everybody seemed like we were drinking the right thing, and as they were cheering.
It's a crema ale.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So we hung out there for a long time, and I forgot that Kevin Lynn actually is the sales manager there. Completely spaced it. That the fact that he's in town and I could have just grabbed his coattails.
Well, but doesn't he own a brewery now? Isn't he part owner?
I think he did some sort of golf center.
I thought he was part owner of something.
I think he was, but now he's with Westbound and Down, and I just kicked myself for not, grabbing him because he knows the town really well.
Sure. Yeah, he would have been all over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we went off to the festival. 10 minutes is all we waited in this line.
Oh, I don't even want to hear about
that. It went
that.
super fast.
What?
Yeah.
Did you wait in the regular people line or did you wait in the special people line?
No, I was regular.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I've been in that line and it's like 45 minutes or longer. I mean, yeah.
Some people are more regular than others.
Apparently. Yeah. Apparently.
Yeah, because the bathroom lanes were all so long.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
well,
so
good. I'm glad it was
one of the main entertainments during the festival was when people dropped the 1 ounce glass and it broke.
Yep.
And everybody loses their mind and cheers.
Yeah.
And that happened.
That's a thing.
I lost count at 25 because I put the headphones on. I started dancing to Jesse's Girl. So I don't know how many were broken then, but I do remember being in the men's bathroom when one broke inside the men's bathroom. And it sounded like the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. Everybody just went nuts.
Does that mean you're done drinking, or do they replace it?
That's a really good question.
I
I don't
not
know.
Sure.
What happened when you broke yours?
I did not. I held on tight.
All right.
Yeah. And then my plan. We had plans for outside of the festival. Inside, I just wanted to drink things I hadn't drank before.
Yeah.
Didn't want to go. I did go to the cider area and see Incline.
Yeah.
And Schilling and Seattle Cider.
Yeah.
Saw those folks because we're friends with them and
of course.
hung out with a brief second. But otherwise, I was drinking things that I knew by sight.
No.
So did they separate it?
Mm-hmm.
How was it
How's it organized?
this year?
It was organized by regions.
It was. Thank goodness. Yeah.
And they had a new region, international.
Oh.
So and that's where Brian's mom was serving.
Okay.
And she has been a volunteer from day one.
Right. That's awesome.
The day that thing started, she was a volunteer, and so she's been doing it every year.
How many
since.
years has it been? Do we know? Anyone?
I don't know.
Anyone?
I don't.
I have no
48,
idea.
maybe.
For a long
I
time?
can't remember.
A long time. It's been around for a while.
It's been around for a while. Yeah, because it started out in smaller venues, and it is gradually.
Yeah.
Didn't we look it up? It started out as a homebrew.
I think
right?
we did. Yeah,
We
look it up
had this
last podcast. Yeah.
Which would have put it in the
I
probably
thought it was-
early 70s or something, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that sounds
71,
right.
72, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was at first it was very small, and then
Yes, hippies.
it grew. The long lines were at Bottle Logic, Dogfish Head, Prairie Artesian Ales had a long line, Russian River, Lost Abbey, Weldworks, the National Black Brewers Association, their area.
Right
Tons
on.
of people were there,
Nice.
which is awesome.
Awesome.
And then when Sam Adams started popping open the Utopias, that line got really big.
Yeah, that would be a stampede almost. Yeah.
But I mean, there were a lot of people that weren't there, which was kind of weird. I didn't see Fremont. I didn't see Beechwood, Jester King, New Glarus, Bells. I didn't see Bells.
What?
Brooklyn, I didn't see them all, but I can drink their beer across town. Cigar City, and a lot of those New England hazy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen yet either, or didn't see there.
Right.
I thought that I was hoping I could drink all the Alchemists and the Treehouse and all that stuff. Didn't happen. But I'm getting the sign from producer Doug that maybe we should take a break.
I need a refill, so break time.
Oh, well, if she needs
Bethany
a refill.
needs beer.
I did do that.
Okay. Thanks, Doug. We'll be right back.
Hello, this is producer Doug Mackey, co-founder of Channel 253. The worst earthquake I've ever been in was the 2001 Nisqually quake. What I remember most about that day was watching the buildings shake around me and watching everyone dive for cover around me. I'll never forget that experience. But it's been more than 20 years since then, and we all need to build muscle memory so that in the next earthquake, we don't panic and run out the door or something and get hit by falling debris. So do it for real with the Great Washington Shakeout on October 19th at 10:19 a.m. Plan ahead. Will your drill be at home, work, or elsewhere? Wherever you are, everyone in the state is encouraged to take a minute to drop, cover, and hold on, just like you would in a real earthquake. Again, the shakeout is scheduled for 10:19 a.m. on October 19th. Got that? 10:19 on 10:19. Easy to remember. You can learn more and get earthquake preparedness tips at shakeout.org/Washington. Thanks to the Great Washington Shakeout for this important public service.
Welcome back from our commercial break.
Woo!
We want to give a quick shout out to Channel 253, our sugar daddy.
Woohoo!
Channel 253 seeks to assemble the best podcasts about Tacoma, whether it's politics, news, culture, food, sports, or mash tuns. They want to tell the story of Tacoma one episode at a time. A monthly membership or an annual membership would mean the world to them and us, and will ensure Channel 253 is able to continue to create great podcasts and events for you. Check them out at channel253.com/membership. Bethany, what are you drinking?
Well, I just got a pint of the Freem Fresh Hop Strata. Let me take a little sip again.
What are you getting?
Oh, yeah. It's really good. Very citrusy, and it's really clear.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's like crystal
beautiful.
clear. It's the usual Freem goodness. I'll throw in some more notes there in a second.
Just have to drink some more.
I like being around people this smart. It's so cool.
Are you drinking the same thing, Doug?
I am.
Nice.
What do you think of it?
I'm not going to be nearly as articulate as you are. I think it's delicious.
I mean, citrusy isn't that detailed
No, citrusy.
of a description. It's very nice. It's very balanced. It's super
very,
drinkable.
I would say it's very balanced. There's nothing jumping out at you.
Bethany, what's in that little 5-ouncer there?
Oh, and then we have Structures Junior, a Centennial Fresh Hop.
It's a pale ale.
It is,
Yeah.
pale ale and
Hazy.
And
very hazy.
Very hazy.
Looks like a glass of light orange juice.
Ooh, it's kind of chewy.
It's chewy, yeah. It's thick.
Yeah. Grassy and refreshing.
Uh-huh. That lemony Centennial
Yeah,
going on for sure.
Good stuff.
for sure. All right, so
Lemony, for sure,
we were
yeah.
talking about the Great American Beer Fest.
We were.
And so after the fest, we went to True.
Oh, I've heard of that.
We went to True.
Yeah.
And we walked in, and it was packed with all the metal and all the deliciousness. But
And it was dark. It was super dark.
Very, very,
Yes.
very dark. But behind True was the True dumpster alley, I think they called it. Dumpster something. Anyway, there were dumpsters, and there were alleys, and it was gravel. It was very lowbrow, but very fun. It was like someone's backyard party. And so that's where we used.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. That's where we drank. And then drank all the sours and all.
Yeah.
And then jumped in the Uber. So many Ubers. Also like to point out that Denver doesn't have a lot of electrical outlets.
They do or they
They do
don't?
not.
They do not.
It
Oh.
was constantly
It's
surging.
hard for you to
Constantly, phone was
Didn't
just dying.
Bring a battery pack.
My friend Brian did,
Yeah.
and we used that.
Ron's gonna order one from Amazon.
Absolutely.
Especially if that's your mode of transportation.
Totally.
Yeah.
Right.
Battery packs.
Yeah.
But it worked out because Brian did all the Ubers.
Okay. Is True, is it like in a basement? Like you said, it's very dark. Is it actually dark?
No.
It's dark, but it's not in the basement. It's long and thin.
It's in a district I feel like somewhat like Proctor in
Yeah.
that it's like older buildings and you know just you wouldn't necessarily even think that it would
Right.
be there.
Right.
It's
Heard
just
cool
kind of
things about it.
unassuming,
A
yeah.
very excellent craft beer bar.
Yeah.
Just like Proctor.
But it's just super, dark, and there's the metal is playing super loud, and there's candles and interesting artwork and very, very.
And an alley with dumpsters.
Yeah, I missed the alley part. That
that's
sounds
fun.
fun. Yeah.
So it's decorated in that way.
yeah,
the alley-
Yeah, I mean, they love
very,
metal.
very metal,
Yeah.
heavy metal.
It's a
themed.
metal brewery.
So one little diversion here. You're describing all these different experiences that are so diverse.
Yeah.
How many people attend this event every year? Because that gives me a sense of why there's such a variety of experience available.
I think
to you.
there were 20,000 less than previous because the footprint of the building shrank dramatically. I can't remember the numbers, and I apologize, but after COVID, everything shrank.
Yeah.
Attendees and the footprint. And it never really felt packed. There was plenty of elbow room, plenty to see all the crazy costumes, because there were crazy costumes. People dress up. And, but it still was, it didn't diminish from the fun.
Yeah.
It was still so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dressed up in a theme, or was there
They just dressed up whatever, I mean, there was Star Wars.
Anything they wanted,
And
yeah.
there was Ninja Turtles. And there was-
like Strange Brew in Port Townsend has like a theme every year, but GABF doesn't have that. It didn't when I was there, but I don't know.
I don't think
People
it did.
dressed up as like pretzels and steins and that sort of stuff. I imagine.
Well, they were wearing them, but not really dressed up.
Okay.
There's mostly characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doug looks confused.
Well,
like,
I'm
what?
just trying
I
to
don't
paint a
get it.
picture here.
Yeah, and well, you all
Why?
So I'm
Just
like,
imagine it's this craziness.
How many Lederhosen?
well, they're all drinking.
There are
too,
tons
you
of
know
later.
that.
Right,
Tons
yeah.
of later houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And the beer wench server,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever
yeah, yeah.
costume, that.
Yeah, and you know, Scottish bagpipes, and they came through at the very beginning.
So many pretzel necklaces.
Yeah.
See, when you said pie, I went right to my proclivity for English beer.
Well,
I went
I'm-
right to like meat pies and stuff.
After True, we went back to Hop and Pie
Aha.
because it's just
'Cause-
because they put on more new beer. I mean, all the things that you want to
Yeah.
drink, and that was fun. And then when it was starting to get dark, we called an Uber because Brian's friend Eric was with us during this day. Funny guy, super funny. Made the whole thing even more pleasurable because Brian and Eric and I were just,
Brian's a gas.
yeah, we were just, it was
I love
all the
Brian.
gas.
Yeah.
And so the Uber shows up in a Tesla.
Ooh.
And we jump in, and this woman is so much fun. And she says, and we're going towards Joyride Brewing, because that's what Eric mentioned where he wanted to go. And I think I can't remember the city, like Edgewood or something like that.
It's in Inglewood.
And we're driving, and then suddenly she says, I'm not going to take you to the brewery, I'm going to take you here instead. And she dropped us off at a park.
What?
Yeah. She made the executive decision and said, this is where you're going to be. And we said, okay.
She cutting you off?
No, she wasn't cutting us off. But she dropped us off in this kind of a lake park. And there was a 3-piece classic rock band playing Doors. And
Cool.
it had Rush and U2 laser show.
All right.
Doug, I'm serious.
Yeah.
This thing is not just some community laser show. This thing is top notch. And there's families everywhere, but it's so dark you can't see the families. All you can see are the 38 and 6 and 7-year-olds moshing
No way.
in front of LA Woman.
Oh, that's cool.
And with a laser show. And these
approve.
kids are going at it. And it was the most remarkable thing. It was so much fun and so funny to see these kids just go at it with these old songs. They played Floyd, and the kids didn't.
Yeah,
they just
it was just
loved
music, and that's what's so great about
that
music.
was fun.
Yeah.
And then we went to Joyride, which is this giant 2-story thing, and they have the most excellent Kolsch.
Nice.
If you're ever in Joyride Brewing, have the Kolsch.
Have the Kolsch.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on the mosh pit of
It was a
7 and 8 year olds, you
incredible.
said? That'd
Yeah.
be amazing.
Yeah, and we just get dropped off. We're feeling good.
I think it's hilarious that she just dropped you off
watching
there.
the music. I think parents started going,
Where are their
these
kids?
three guys.
Trust the woman in the Tesla.
That have no children with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then because Joyride was the brewery was 3 blocks away, so we just walked.
Nice.
And then we kind of closed it down, and that was that. And off to the airport the next day for
What a great
hours.
Feeling nice.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
I had a great
fun.
time. I definitely would go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were
so
nice
much
and
fun.
hydrated on
It's
that
a
plane
fun
ride
time.
home.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
You were like a pickle.
Yeah. It was Frontier, so
moisture's being leashed
the
out
moisture
of it by
came in 1 ounce pours because of Frontier Lights. Also,
737.
but the
Max.
plastic didn't break when you dropped it.
Didn't break. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was tight fit and, crazy stories on the airplane. Those passed.
Okay, for next week.
Another time,
Yeah.
is it a fuck up story or no?
No, it's,
Oh, okay.
No, was there any major fuck up experience? On
yes,
this
there
trip?
was.
Aha.
So after Joyride, Brian wanted to take me to this retro 30s kind of speakeasy place.
What do you do? What?
And when we took the Uber, got in there, I realized my phone was gone.
Got you.
And so
Oh,
I thought I
no.
left it in the
I have
Uber.
dreams like that.
Yeah, and so I thought I left in the Uber, and we're calling Uber and trying to figure it out. And then after 20 minutes, I thought, well, I'll just go outside and look. Sure enough, it's in the middle of the road,
Ooh.
but right between
Lucky.
where the tires would be.
And nobody had
And
run
nobody
it over.
ran it over.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's a fuck up story.
That's a lucky.
Yeah,
That's a lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
yeah. It was fun. I definitely would do it again.
It sounds like you will.
Yeah,
I think you should.
yeah.
Absolutely.
What's the next fresh hop, Bethany?
I just opened Fremont
Holy
Cowitch
shit.
Canyon.
Oh, I'm behind here.
Oh,
Yeah. How is it?
talk about a different look completely. And
Ooh, really
totally.
nice.
Nice and bright.
That first one was really distinctive.
Yeah.
It's some kind of
Ron?
Thank you.
actually a really nice malt character. I know it's a fresh hop, but it's kind of a nice like biscuity malt and
Ooh.
nice little hop character
Little
as
bit-
well.
Yeah, a little dankness, a little floral, a little citrus.
Yeah, the floral. I'm getting the floral.
Bethany, when's your next beer judging?
That's a good question. We were gonna try to judge some fresh hops, but I think we missed those, or they're coming up
Yeah.
too soon.
Because the fest is this weekend in Yakima.
Yes. Yeah. I don't have any lined up at the moment,
Okay.
but I will. I will get some lined up. Yeah. I think it'd be fun to judge GABF some year. That's definitely on the bucket list, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, how's the line cleaning business going?
It's going great. Let's see, I was just at the Stadium Golf Paquitos this morning, cleaning their lines, and it's one of our newer accounts. They've been awesome. Yeah, we're rocking and rolling with the business. If anyone needs their lines cleaned,
Yeah.
let us know.
What's the craziest thing you've seen? That you can say.
That you can say without
Yeah.
no identifying
I
information.
mean, when lines don't get cleaned on a regular basis, it looks like a slug coming out of the faucet. If it comes out, sometimes it gets clogged. I mean, you can see it moving through the lines in the cooler when they're...
So here's a question: does that mean there was a slug-like thing in there, or
Yeah.
does it mean because it's all been pushed, it's forming a slug as it comes out?
No.
Is it like a Tool video?
Yeah, I mean, definitely keep up with your line cleaning because it gets slimy. It gets moldy. Everything gets moldy, slimy when they're not cleaned properly or often enough.
So what's the worst, the longest time that someone has fessed up to this is the last time we cleaned our lines? How long is the longest that it's somebody maybe has gone or a business has gone before they've actually
It's a good question. I mean, I think we've seen accounts that haven't been touched in a couple of years, probably. Yeah.
And what's the recommended frequency?
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, every 2 weeks.
So a couple years.
It's pretty bad. Once lines get like that, you kind of need to replace them. There's not a lot of, you can't really come back from that. You can make them much better, but
Your
really
recommendation would be
it.
just start all over from scratch after 2 years.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
God.
And it's not regulated by the health department. Of all the things that are regulated by the health department, which some of them are really silly and crazy.
Yeah.
Beer lines are not. Yeah.
No, it's like a bleach in a syringe. I mean, you need it, right? Or you're gonna, bad things will happen.
Yeah.
Dramatically changes the taste of beer.
Definitely. The biggest is that it's going to change the flavor of your beer.
Yeah.
So beer reps really care about it. We're lucky that we have some beer reps on our side working for us when they go out, to their account and they notice something's wrong or something's not pouring right or whatever. They're like, when's the last time you cleaned your lines? And they're like, what? And then they'll recommend us. So
Clean the lines.
Yeah, we're lucky to have a lot of people on our side.
Do you impart knowledge to these places, or do you prefer not to impart knowledge so they bring your service back?
Oh, no, we don't try to hold things back really, because really, it's one of those services like any cleaning service. If you want to outsource it, you don't want to spend your time doing it as a bar owner or manager or whatever. It's better to pay somebody to come do it for you. So definitely, I love the managers that are that care, that keep up with it, that are asking questions, that wonder why this or that, or can you help me with this? This isn't pouring right. Or
videotape it every time you're in.
Yeah, those accounts.
Yeah, those jerks.
Yeah, but honestly, we don't see the owners a whole lot. A lot of times we're in and out, kind of. We either have keys to the place or we're there, with the kitchen staff that are early, prepping and stuff. So. Yeah.
Little elves coming in at night.
Right. Yeah.
Doing the work.
It's very thankless.
They come back and everything's...
Oh, no, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those of us who don't want to die or just want to drink delicious beer.
Yeah, just don't want to drink beer that doesn't taste good. It's satisfying. It's satisfying work for me and Greer. I don't know about anybody else, but we like at the end of the day to be like, okay, everything's pouring good. It's clean. It's fresh. Couplers are all scrubbed. Yeah.
Doing
nice.
God's work.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, Grit and Grainers. Email us at shares@gritandgrainpodcast.com with your comments, opinions, and reasons why 20-somethings don't attend the Great American Beer Festival. but it's because you, Wendy, Kirby, Kevin, Alec, Jules, and Leslie couldn't get an Uber ride after the party the night before GABF because Wendy's phone was dead. Jules was pretty wasted and her phone was password protected. Kevin thought he knew Jules' passcode, but Leslie said she changed it after Alec used it to drunk text you up after the Delta Chi's hot dads and undergrads party. Kevin couldn't use his phone to call Uber because he didn't have Venmo and no one else had cash, and paying him back is always such a thing because he gets super passive aggressive about money. You and Kirby were the most sober, and one of you had to be with Jules all the time. So that happened, and that's probably why. We read and drink everything we receive, and we try to respond as quickly as you can. If not online, then on air. You can subscribe to Grit and Grain on Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. And please leave us a review. Also, check us out on Channel 253. Woohoo! And gritandgrainpodcast.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for episode notes, beer news, and JBF field reports. But I can only tell you what I know, which is to say I can only tell you what I was filtered through. What was filtered through the psychosocial cultural pretzel necklaces of my brief visit to JBF. So, now that Peaks and Pints, we're at Peaks and Pints and just down the street, I'm gonna drink more, and I'm gonna flub this outro more. Because I can walk home.
You guys are both walking distance.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Anyway,
I could walk home.
Yeah. Which is to say, everything you heard was, of course, relatively biased and opinionated, and 1 ounce tested, and mechanical bull groinal tingled, and Margaritaville karaoke while holding a taster of Bottle Logic Stout sung, and Goza volunteer splained, and Boeing-sized building echoed. And it's a small miracle we can communicate at all, given the slipperiness of language and the slipperiness of soul and the slipperiness of Koichi Canon. But that's what keeps things interesting. So perhaps it's best not to explain too much and just shut up and make a reservation for next year because it was so much damn fun.
Gotta do it again.
If this podcast is not what you expected, please alter your expectations.
They've done that by now.
You cannot grasp the complexity of a beer from a 1 ounce pour. It's akin to licking a Spanish Iberian ham. No such thing as a bad time to visit Tacoma. No such thing as too much barley wine.
Or fresh hop.
Tune in next Friday for more sweet chatter. Cheers.
Cheers.
We made it.
Cheers.
We did it.
Did you actually do karaoke?
Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us at Grit and Grain Podcast wherever you get your social media and catch new episodes every Friday. Cheers.
Good up.
Channel 253 is a member-supported podcast network. I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I'm asking you to become a member and show your support. Go to channel253.com/membership to join. Thank you. Grit and Grain is part of the Channel 253 podcast network. Check out our other shows: Nerd Farmer, Interchangeable White Ladies, Move to Tacoma, Crossing Division, Citizen Tacoma, What Say You, We Are Tacoma, Flounders B Team, and Taco Man.
This is Channel 253.